Writing is the voice of the unheard. I'm not riding with them, but I understand what they were doing. Dude getting railed in the, not in the White House, in the Senate chambers or whatever. What are you thinking?
Everyone here has done more time in any context than anyone on the Epstein client list for the Epstein client list.
Damn. I have done more time. Alone. Me. I have done more time. I mean, not in prison. I was in jail. But, wow. Crazy.
It's like the liberal economic order, man. It's the least worst world order.
Shout out to Owen Schroyer for making that point.
But this is the issue that brings people together, and I want to kind of change this conversation a little bit, because if you look at left, right, center, everyone agrees, hey, what they were doing for decades with the FBI covering up child abuse, when the witnesses and people came to them and said, hey, this is happening.
Yeah, that was bad. You're not supposed to do that.
Police officers, judges, prosecutors, politicians, celebrities, media moguls all played a part in it. Meghan McCain said that literally everyone in Washington knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. Everyone was afraid of Jeffrey Epstein.
Everybody outside of Washington knew what was going on. Anybody who listened to Alex Jones at all and took him with a modicum of sincerity and credibility, which may not be the right thing to do, but in that case, it was outside of Washington knew. So of course everybody in Washington knew.
This is something that will bring everyone together and make people understand, hey, the system is rotten.
Luke,
it's corrupt.
I really hope, Luke, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm very scared that there will, because of the people named, and because I think that there's going to be a lot of people on both sides, but because of the specific names on the left, I think there's going to be people who are actually, no, both sides. Both sides. I think there's going to be people who are named, and people are going to run cover and be like, no, they didn't do it. That has to be fake. And it's going to muddy the waters, and it's going to be all bullshit. I hope I'm wrong about that. I hope he's right. I just don't know.
And it can't be fixed until we deal with this single issue.
We've not only have heard these stories of Epstein, the Lolita Express. Madison Cawthorn made some allegations.
Madison Cawthorn was right.
Because we all saw, as much as you probably didn't want to, that video out of the Senate, was the Hart Building hearing room floor, which was very disturbing. And I do hope they decontaminate that building. I mean that sincerely.
Well, he should be arrested. What he did was worse than what 99.9% of people on January 6th did. And he should be arrested. And
actually, I want to make that a poll. Which do you think is worse? The J6ers in total. So there was absolutely rioters on January 6th, but there was a QAnon shaman who was, escorted around. There was the grandmas walking around. So we have the J6ers, the entire January 6th people, or I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about.
It was worse than what
contaminate that building. I mean that since floor, which was
the dude getting railed. Which was worse? I'm gonna put the poll up. Right
and I do hope they decontaminate that building. I mean that sincerely.
Well, he should be arrested. What he did was worse than what 99.9% of people on January 6th did. And he should be arrested and put in federal prison.
Than what 100.
Well, not beating a police officer. There's a couple people that did, but yeah.
Well, it is a desecration of the space. I mean, most January 6th people, I read a lot of them, as you have, and they're all, they were there because they believe in the system, because they all had pocket constitutions. They thought it was real, and they were so shocked to see their election stolen, which obviously it was, and that they marched on the Capitol. But they were there to uphold the system, and some did it imperfectly, and some got out of hand, of course. But this guy is there to degrade it, to defile it on purpose. Like, there's no reason to do that in a hearing room.
I used to say, and check out the latest All In podcast by David Sachs and Chamath on Trump's name being taken off the Colorado ballot. It's incredible to see how the ardent Democrats are being red-pilled. Worth reacting. All right, I will definitely check that out. If you want to drop a link in the Discord server, that would be much appreciated. Mood said both are not as bad as what Tim is hiding under that beanie. There you go. Yep. Conservatives, I can't bring Destiny on without you guys talking about his hair, getting him cucked. And when Tim comes on, we got to talk about how he's bald. Always, always, always. Almost United said, I still can't see the options. Which is the first one, so I know how to vote. Okay, so our poll, which is worse? 1, so if you can't see the poll, just put a 1, the dude getting railed, or 2, the entirety of January 6th. Which was worse? Which was worse? 1 would be the dude getting railed. 2 would be January 6th was worse.
It's posted on the internet. Like,
let's make this distinction here as it pertains to January 6th. There were people who were violent. That's bad. You should be held criminally responsible if you're attacking cops. I agree with you, Charlie. There were people there who were let in by the cops, but knew that something violent was happening. But more importantly, I've spoken with many people.
All right, that with ML69's vote on Android, come on, YouTube, you got to fix that shit. But including her vote, we're 50-50, guys. We're 50-50.
Who showed up an hour after any violence cleared roads, no gates, doors wide open with cops smiling, welcomed them in and took selfies. And those people, I've met 2 of them, they're going to prison for 18 months. And they said, I showed up an hour later. It's a clear sidewalk. We walked up. There are people milling about. Cops opened the door. Weird shrugging. We walk inside for a few minutes. We walk out. No idea anything ever happened.
That sounds like one of the things that the captions would say on your TV when weird shrugging. And that's why my vote is also with the dude getting railed, because it was so out of like, yes, even though the rioters absolutely were rioters, we're not talking about the protesters. It was mostly protesters and then a bunch of rioters on January 6th. Those people did the wrong thing. Those people got violent. Those people did whatever caveat you want. But at least it was in the context of something that we can see is, writing is the voice of the unheard. I'm not riding with them, but I understand what they were doing. Dude getting railed in the, not in the White House, in the Senate chambers or whatever. What are you thinking?
Next thing we know, the feds are at our door. These are not people who even, as you described, Tucker, these are people who are just there to see Trump speak and happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So how about no on that? I mean, when is honestly, I mean, I don't want to put anyone in jeopardy, but like until people say we're just not playing along with this anymore, obviously Congress isn't going to help.
You know the problem, I think,
for it.
We talked before about religion. Christianity is like the battlefield of the culture.
I remember this part. Guys, if you have not watched already, when Ian Crossland was on the channel, I interviewed him directly. This is the first time that I've seen him talk about religion in this way. And I have to, I mean, maybe he was talking to somebody else who was talking about this stuff. But I remember this, and you can't tell me that I didn't rub off on him.
Culture war, and you were talking about demonism and Satanism creeping into the culture in a lot of ways. I think one of the problems with Christianity is that it encourages people to be subservient to a church, and then therefore subconsciously they become subservient to a government. Like, why aren't they saying no?
Well, a man has as many masters as he does vices, and the reality is you're a slave to something, and if you choose to be a slave to God as opposed to the government, you will be the most difficult possible man to conquer.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio, and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.